Takes it off right side and then comes forward powerfully. The Dane just past Clayton, back more as if he wasn't there. Molby all the way into the penalty area. What a goal! Jan Molby with a 40-yard burst. An absolutely unstoppable shot. They went past 3 players.
Hey! What are we doing with this goal here?
Slow motion.
Actually, let me just, while it's on the screen, and some people might be wondering what it is. First,
Yeah, do you want me to play it?
good morning. No, leave it. I want to build it up. No, let me just start by saying good morning. I mean, you know, since I left Liverpool as a player in 1996, we've travelled all over the world. In our capacity as still playing as legends and visiting supporters club, and it never amazes you. You know, Liverpool fans are everywhere in the world, and to come and see you here, so many of you here, and I mean, it takes some doing. What a brutal start to the weekend. It's not even 10 o'clock. But it's great, isn't it? No, but we're unique, aren't we? I hear a lot of players, and I hear a lot of old Liverpool players saying, you know, I was lucky to play for Liverpool. No, I don't think anyone is lucky to play for Liverpool in terms of your ability. Your ability takes you wherever you deserve to be. And I think the majority of players who ever played for Liverpool were good enough to play for Liverpool. But we were lucky to play for Liverpool because Liverpool is a unique football club. You know, and as I said before, you just wouldn't believe it. There's no other football club in the whole world that gets under your skin like Liverpool Football Club does.
That's for sure. Right.
Yeah, he's bound to say that because he's a Scouser, but I'm not.
Yes, you are.
I'm Danish, you know. So,
You are there, Jan. You are. You are.
Let me just tell you, for the people who don't know, this thing on the screen that they're going to show in a minute is a goal that I scored on the 26th of November 1985 at Anfield. There was 42,852 people in the
There was a crowd there.
But what was actually unique about that goal was, at the time there was a contracted in a football league, so there was never at any of the games, and this video you'll see in a minute was actually taken by one of the Manchester United backroom staff who videoed the game from the main stand, and Ron Atkinson sent me the copy a couple of weeks later and he said, get yourself a copy of this, because as you'll see in a minute we managed to beat them 2-1 and I think if you ever want to announce yourself at Liverpool, why not do it with 2 goals in a minute against Manchester? Exactly hard, is it? You know. Do it right, you know. So. Now a little bit of a background. As I said before, I'm Danish. In 1982, I was transferred. I played for Ajax of Amsterdam for 2 years, from 1982 to 1984, from the age of 18 to 20. But a great time in Amsterdam. Who wouldn't when they're 18? But my overriding memory of playing for Ajax is not actually it's playing with the type of players I did. I played with the likes of Marco van Basten, Frank Rijkaard, Ronald Koeman. I also played a full season with Johan Cruyff. Makes him the greatest player I've ever played alongside.
You know Jan Molby?
He knows who I am. Cruyff these things, and he starts off obviously by when he played alongside me. It's mutual. But in 1984, put up for sale. That's basically what Ajax do. Every players to try and balance the books. And in '84 it was my time to go, and they asked me, where would you like to go and play? And I always wanted to go and. I think Scandinavians, we were brought up in English football, and I wanted to go and play in England. And I was actually set to join Sheffield Wednesday. I'd agreed a 3-year contract with Sheffield Wednesday. Yeah.
You're the one in the vaccine.
And what actually happened was, the day before I was due up to meet Sheffield to sign for them, I got a phone call from Liverpool Football Club. Now at that time, Liverpool had just sold Graham Souness, to Sampdoria, and they needed a replacement. And what they basically said to me was, listen, Jan, they said, we're looking for the midfield player. You've been recommended. We've never seen you play. But you do need to come across and spend 10 days on a trial. Now, I'm the only Liverpool player ever to be signed after having spent it on trial, you know. So they said, you've got to come across for 10 days. We'll have a little look at you in training, play a couple of matches, and you can have a little look at us and whatever. And so I said, yeah, okay, I'll come across and spend 10 days. I went across to Liverpool and trained with the first team in the morning. I played in a couple. Although, also while I was there, I was introduced to a couple of. No, it's not. One of the things I was introduced to was Bruce Grobbelaar. I'm sure you all remember Bruce Grobbelaar. Somebody said they just met him. I mean, how'd you get out? Let me just tell you a story. Bruce Grobbelaar is the strongest man I've ever come across in my life. Yeah? I mean, the strongest man I've ever met in my life. And in 1984, we're on our way to Japan, Tokyo, to play in this World Club Championship we used to play in. And we're flying out there, and halfway around the world, we have to stop to refuel. Is getting some fuel, you have to get off. So we thought we'll go and refuel. So we're in the bar. So we're in the bar having a few beers, and Rod Stewart is with us. Rod Stewart is playing a concert in Tokyo. And Rod is standing there with his four miners, and Bruce Grobbelaar, completely out of the blue, goes, hey Rod, he said, I bet you I can open a bottle of Coke with my eyes. Rod goes, really? Looks at his bodyguards and he said to them, what do you think, guys? And they went, there's no way. With my eyes. So they bet £50. Bottle of Coke. Bruce puts it in his eye. Nothing happens. Puts it in the other eye. Nothing happens apart from the fact that he cuts his eye. So he's bleeding. Puts it back in the other eye. Same thing happens. Cuts it, bleeding. He's now bleeding from both eyes. He then puts it back. He then puts it back in his left eye where he's already bleeding. And after about 15 seconds, all you can hear is this. And he's actually opened a bottle of Coke with his eyes. And God is like. And as that happened, just as it happens, covered in blood running down his face, Bob Paisley, although not the manager, but he was on the trip, walks into the bar and he sees Bruce. And he goes, bloody hell, Bruce, he says. What a disgrace you are. He said, you're the goalkeeper of Liverpool, the greatest club side anywhere in the world, you're covered in blood in a public place. He said, you're a disgrace. He said, get yourself down to the third floor. He said, get yourself down to the ground floor. There's a first aid room and get yourself cleaned up, man. So Bruce being Bruce, instead of pressing the button for the lift, jumps on the banister and fires himself down from the third floor to the bottom. By the time he reaches the bottom, he must be doing about 12 miles an hour. And you know what's at the bottom of banisters, isn't it? There's a knob like that. And Bruce flies straight over the knob, cuts top of his thigh and his arse. And he has 18 stitches. And plays 2 days later as if nothing had happened, you know what I mean? But, yes, I'm in Liverpool on trial. I'm staying in the city centre hotel. It's a Sunday night. There's a knock on my door. Now, some of you will remember this. Bruce Grobbelaar was actually voted man in Britain in 1984. Remember? Bruce was seen out. He always used to have the long Macs and the hats on and whatever. As I said, there's a knock on the door. I open the door and there's Bruce dressed up in his long Mac and hat. And I said to Bruce, I said, what can I do for you? Because that's how I spoke English at the time. Bruce said to me, listen, he said, I've come to take you for a drink. I said, but Bruce, I said, Sunday night, you know, where I come from, mainland Europe, people tend to stay in and then they rest and then they go to work Monday morning. Oh yes, he said, but we're in Liverpool now, he says. People party Sunday night and to work on a Monday.
Sunday fun day.
That's it. So we've got into this wine bar. And some of you guys who used to live in Liverpool remember Street's wine bar. Up to the bar. He's ordered a pint of lager and a pint of Guinness and he's handed me the pint. Disappeared. So I'm standing at a bar in Liverpool. And in Liverpool, Scousers can't help themselves, can you? I mean, it never lasts too long, can it? I was on my own for about 20 seconds. Scouser comes right up to me. Another way to doing it, and he looks me up and down. He goes, "Smash it." All right, mate. Where you?